All right, boys and girls. Today we are going to plan out what we are doing within our foreground. Remember, you should have your ground lines completed. If you're doing something like this with the grass, maybe just do different colors for the grass. And mine go from a darker color value to a lighter color value in the background. You can have whatever type of sky you want. And you are thinking about if you want to use shapes to draw the human figure. And these shapes will be colored in to create a silhouette, or if you would like to do gesture drawing to show more variation within your movement. Another thing you have to keep in mind is formal and informal balance. So will you be in the middle? Will you be, which is formal, or will you be off the side, either the left or the right? That is informal. And then here are some different examples of what you can do. This is one picture where it's a light color value, darker color value, and then with the green, I add some blue to make it darker, add some white and some yellow to make it lighter. We have the sky. You could even add a sun right here. I would just need to paint that white. And then we have sun rays on the water. Here are some other examples. So this is a vertical cityscape. So instead of ground lines, we have buildings. And then we have a color variation within the sky. So it goes from a lighter color value to a medium to a darker. Tint, tone, shade. You create a tint by mixing your color with white. Create a tone by mixing your color in with gray. And you create a shade by mixing your color in with black. And you could even end it with black. Or you can start it with white. And here's another showing a path. Here's another vertical landscape showing the ground lines here, and then a colorful sky in the background. Here we have a nice example of color variation, shade, tone, and tint. So, it's not always like this, but a general rule of thumb is your ground lines tend to go from dark and then they get lighter and lighter. Your sky tends to go from light to darker. Same thing with the sunset, light to darker. Here's another example. They added some nice different greens within the ground. That's one way to kind of break up the space. And then warm colors for the sky. Here we have ocean, two different types of blue, sand, and then we have some mountains. This body of water here has some sun rays. This one shows some green ground lines here in the foreground. Then we have some water. You created this by adding in blue and then blending some darker blue and some white right on top to create movement within the water. And then we have darker mountains, and then they get lighter and lighter. This is a nice example because you can see the reflection in the water. And all the ground lines are actually dark. They're black. They're the darkest color value. We have another example right here. This shows you a nice example of how to add in a path. We have a beautiful sky. I would advise this friend to maybe add some bigger trees closer to the foreground. And I'd have to ask this person like what they're doing silhouette wise. Are they going to do a silhouette of a tree or the human form? Here we have another example of the ocean, mountains. This one's really nice because it's going to show the moon back here. So you really just want to think through what your composition is going to look like, and then you'll be able to think about what will be in the foreground. What type of silhouette will be in the foreground? Okay, so in my foreground, I will show informal balance, so I will be off to the side, and I'm going to show the human figure. I'm going to show you how to do it with shapes that you color in to create your silhouette. And I'm also going to show you all about gesture drawing. That's another way of creating your silhouette. Okay, so with gesture drawings, they're meant to be done really quickly. I would say about like 30 seconds. It should be just really quick. So you could be kicking a soccer ball, you could be dancing. There's different types of gesture drawings you can do. For this, you might need someone to model it for you. Or I can just show you step by step how to do this. So one type of gesture you could do is dancing. So circle for the head, then I draw the neck, and then I draw the body. So maybe your body is kind of off to the side like that. And then if it is off to the side, you have your legs here, knee, calf, and maybe you're on your tippy toes. All right, and then back here, I'm gonna have my other leg come up. I have this leg going down. So this might be a little bit tricky because I want to show this person holding their leg. So maybe your leg will go up like this, and then your calf will go here. And then you have your arm. So shoulder, and then top part of your arm, bottom part of your arm, hand. So you're just showing movement within your picture. That's one example. Another way to show movement is to also like hold something. So you could be holding an umbrella. So maybe, this is a little silly, but this person starts off with a circle. I do like to draw the neck, and then we have the body here. And then we have hips here, and then now you're thinking about what your legs are doing. So maybe you have one leg off to the side here, and then it goes down. One leg might be kicking out, so that's your thigh, knee, and then your calf. It would be easier to just make this all one straight line, but your knee usually bends even when you're kicking out. It bends slightly. Okay, shoulders are here, and then you could have one arm out. Maybe you're doing something like that. And then over here, maybe you are holding an umbrella. Okay, so this person's holding the umbrella here. We have a candy cane. And then I don't have a lot of room, so that's why this is a little bit tricky. So I'm gonna just put this paper back here so you can see. And then I add a nice big curve like this. And then now I make additional curved lines right there, just like that. And then I add curved lines here, going all the way up to the top, and that's my umbrella. So this will all be colored in, so you don't have to worry about all those details, but this just shows what the umbrella looks like. And then of course, when you're done with your silhouettes, that's when you can add your hair. If you have long hair, you can add long hair going down on one or two sides. You could add a ponytail. You could add any type of hairstyle you want. Okay, now I'm gonna do a someone kicking a soccer ball, which could be a little bit challenging. And I don't have a lot of room here. So, circle for the head. I do like to draw the neck. And then you have your shoulders. And I'm quickly drawing in the torso and the hips. Then I draw in the arm. This arm is gonna go back. So it just is gonna go back like this. And then this arm, it's a t-shirt, just go down, and then I could maybe have my arm going back like that. Or maybe my arm is just straight down. And then I have my legs. So legs, thigh, thigh, knee, calf, foot, knee, and then it's just gonna show a small part of it, and then now it's going back, and then my foot goes back like that. So this is what it would look like to draw a gesture drawing of someone playing soccer, just like one movement. And then of course with the gesture, you can add in more details after the fact. So if you wanted to show hairstyle, if you wanted to show your soccer ball right here, you can do all that. So that's soccer. Okay, maybe I can show someone with a basketball. So there's lots of ways of doing this, lots of different positions you could do. Maybe I'll just do someone shooting the ball. So this person, I would only see them from the back, so that's their head. And then neck, shoulders, torso, hips, and then now I'm thinking about how their legs are going to be positioned. I'm always doing these like quick ovals and circles, so thinking about how the legs are going to be positioned. And then this is where the tricky part comes. Since you're seeing this person from the back, their shoulders here, and then their arm is going to go out like that. So shoulder, then arm is going to go out like that. This arm is clear because you can just show them doing this. And then the trick with this is you want to be able to have both hands be holding the ball. And then the basketball is going to be right here, like that. So this arm is kind of hidden, but the hand is right here. Then this arm is off to the side. So these are just some general gesture drawings you can do. Now I'm going to show you how to create your silhouette with just shapes, just breaking things down with shapes. And that is a little bit easier because you're just going to be in a general standing position. So hopefully you remember this from some earlier lessons we've done. But when you draw a full body, you start off with the head, neck, lines for the shoulders. Your shoulders should be wider than your head. Then you draw a trapezoid for your torso. If you want to draw an additional oval for the hips, you can. And then you're thinking about how your legs are going to be positioned. Are you going to have one leg slightly bent? Are you going to have another leg straight? It's up to you what you want to do. Now, a good idea before you draw the legs is to make sure that your proportions are correct. So you can use your frozen fingers by placing your thumb here, finger here, keeping it frozen and making sure that your legs are just as tall as the first half of your body. So before I draw myself, or before I finish drawing myself, I use my frozen fingers to make sure the proportions are correct. Okay, slightly higher right here. Okay? And if you're having a hard time with your legs, an easier way to do your legs is to find the middle point right here, and then make an upside down V, then add a diagonal line and a straight line connecting it. Diagonal line, don't forget, it shouldn't be wider than your torso. And then you make a straight line to connect it. And then you can just make another rectangle and then your shoes. So that's an easy way to draw your legs. Now I'm gonna draw my arms. So I could have my arm going straight down, elbow, second part of my arm, and then my hand. I'm just doing a circle. You could also have your hand resting on your thigh, whatever it is you want to do. Now you could have your arm up, you can have your arm resting on your hips. That's an easier thing to do, is have your arms resting on, have your hands resting on your hips. So rectangle where your shoulder is, and then you go straight down, and then your hands can go right here. So that is an easy way to use shapes to draw the human figure. And then you can draw on your hair. If you have curly hair, you might be able to see your curly hair within the silhouette. If you have long hair, you'd probably be able to see your long hair within the silhouette. If your arms are if you're struggling with your arms, you can just have your hands on your hips like that. Just something easy. And then when you're done, to show that it is a silhouette, you color it all in. And of course, if you have long sleeves on, you can show long sleeves. If you have shorts on, maybe it would be a little bit wider, like that. If you have a skirt, it just goes right over. So think about the clothes you're wearing. So I'm gonna show myself wearing long sleeves. Then over here, I'm gonna show myself wearing a t-shirt. And hopefully you can see the difference. And then they'll just be wearing just long pants. Then over here, I'm just gonna show this person with shorter hair so you can see the difference. So there's the t-shirt. It is wider than the arm. And then of course, you're gonna have your ground line. So that will probably cover your feet. Okay, so you can see one silhouette right here. The other one is right over here. There you go, those are the two examples.